Greetings and welcome to episode 106 of my Empire Total War Darth mod USA campaign. And this, my friends, I did last time, where we have a Sicilian fleet here, my friends, a badly damaged Sicilian fleet being brought to battle here, my friends, and at last we can finally rid ourselves of what has been a fleet that has really pestered us. It's been a nuisance here, a thorn in our side as it were, but we're going to once and for all rid ourselves of this fleet here. Now, initially we were going to have we're going to sort of have a combat sort of a fight, should we say, here on the high seas, but on reflection here, and some of the council members saying that what we should really do is we should be engaging in the sort of the fleet battles when we have a full fleet engagement, not just one or two of these sort of small engagements, because we got 4 ships, and of course they outnumber us in terms of the number of ships they have available. But even if we lose here, what we're going to do is we're going to probably bring in one of our major fleets here and have a full naval engagement. If we lose here, we'll probably bring in one of our main fleets to actually dispose of these Sicilian forces, because they have been a bit of a thorn in our side here, but we have a huge amount to deal with here. Absolutely huge amount to deal with. We are, of course, fighting on the Don. We're fighting in Europe. We are fighting possibly on the subcontinent as well at some point. But the majority we're fighting in the Middle East. We have forces absolutely everywhere, particularly in Europe, particularly in the sort of northern part of Europe, around Berlin and around Stuttgart and those type of sort of areas and regions. We are absolutely knee deep, my friends, in the fighting here with of course the Germans. They have been our principal foe, and they are not in any way showing any sign of slackening their resistance here to our arms. So we have to really sort of knuckle down here, my friends, and really put that pressure on them to really bring them to task. We cannot allow them even a short reprieve here. We have to keep on them all the time. So with that in mind, let's sort this. We defeat Sir. Of course, we were just simply outgunned there. But now we can bring to bear Ottomans. And of course, I know that some of you may say, Mala, you should really have taken that fight there, you might have won it. The chances of that, my friends, the simple thing is they outnumbered us there, and even though we had these sort of the better ships, as it were, the more powerful first rates, we didn't have enough to really tip the balance there. But we're going to deal with that fleet, and we're going to deal with it promptly, my friends. Believe me, we are not going to that. I think what we'll also do is bring those Sicilian ports under siege as well. We're going to sort of blockade those Sicilian ports, so we don't have any more nonsense from those at all. We must focus. We have to keep a firm eye on Spain. Now, many of the council have been worrying about the Spanish problem here, the Spanish question. They are starting to move forces up here towards Hanover, and it's a little disconcerting here, to say the least. As you can see, they're still able to bring in quite considerable forces, although we do have it firmly blockaded here. But Spain is still a potent foe. We mustn't take our eye off them at all, not even for a second. And of course they have that absolute powerhouse of production there, which is Paris. It is a behemoth, believe me, my friends, but they are cut off here by the French. The French are, shall we say, dallying with and sort of hitting the French on the outskirts, but not really doing very much with it. They do have an army here in this port, but it looks like the Spanish are gathering to remove that. Oh my goodness me, look at that. They got absolutely thrashed. If it wasn't for the lands that we gave them, they would have absolutely nothing at all. This is the French. And as you can see, they're starting to really put a lot of forces on the border here, which is a little bit disconcerting. No, sir. The Don is ours. If we gave... Look at that. I mean, there's not a chance. We'll go for a trade agreement. Yes. No, so we do not jest. Courland is really putting itself out quite a bit here, particularly against the British. The British have been staunch allies of ours, as has Norway. Not really sure what Norway's going to do here. They don't really have the muscle, the firepower to do a lot here, but it has been good to have them on this particular northern flank. Let's see what happens here, my friends. Now, trade has been topsy-turvy, shall we say. It has been up and down. We have been hit by numerous blockades, not only from ourselves, but also those who are allies of ourselves being hit by enemies of ours. Of course, we've dragged in other nations as well who are on our side, particularly Britain. Now we are at peace with the Ottomans, which is always good to see here. Now the steam-powered cloth mill. Look at that, nearly 100,000 in gold, sir. We've almost got enough tax here to actually pay for the army upkeep, which is quite exceptional, to be honest with you. That's always the dream, is to bring this, paying for this, which means everything else you get from trade is basically yours, which is pretty much what it is now. We're only, what is it? Sorry about that, my friends. So as you can see here, we've got 91,000 in trade, which is actually very good. We did have more than that, but of course, Persia has been hit quite extensively here. I think we're raiding here. Yes. We do have a huge amount here of tobacco. 35. Tobacco's actually doing quite well. It is the best. It is the best on the world market. We've got 240 barrels, we've got 360 barrel bales, a bit of cotton. Cotton is actually doing pretty well as well, 31 here. Furs, 30. Coffee, 28. Sugar, which is just absolutely huge, which is 420 loaves of sugar, which is 23. Not brilliant by any means, but that's what's being hit here. But everything else is looking okay here. Now, Spain is hostile towards us. Oh my goodness me, that they're on the brink of war with us here. Sweden is hostile. Let's see if we can get some trade here. No. What if we can keep Spain sweet here? No. We've got war possibly with both of these very, very soon. Very soon, but I think we've got... Do you know we're hostile? Cold and friendly. When do you think we'd actually be in trade with us here? No, we don't need it. We've got to keep a firm eye on these nations here, particularly Spain. Sweden we can deal with, because Sweden just basically has this here, which we can blockade, and we will blockade if it comes to it. Do they have those? No, they don't have any ships up here at all. Now Russia is minding its own business for the meantime, but still, now we need to rid ourselves. Sicilians are there. We need to rid ourselves of this Sicilian force here. Yes, sir.
Country for home and for the prize.
What ship do we have here? Fourth rate. Nope, we shall take the money. Oh, you fiend.
Fleet ready.
Now, where are they operating out of? There it is there.
Ship shape and Bristol fashion, Captain.
And thus their income was cut off in one fell swoop. They do have a huge amount of armies. My goodness me. That is scary. Of course, it's taking a while here. Yeah, they've got a lot of forces. Imagine they've got the Germans running here. Germans have considerable strength upon this sort of southern flank down here. We've got to be very wary here. We've got the Ottomans running a very elite force here. Nizam indeed. Pius, 24 pounders. That is a very strong, very capable force indeed. They may be heading for Greece here. We've got to keep an eye on this here. We definitely have to keep an eye on this, because at the moment, and of course we are moving forces in. Now of course things are going to take a while for things to sort themselves out here.
Set sail. Jump to it and look lively. Ships orders received. Set sail.
Now we've landed an army group here. Now, last episode, remember, we landed an army group here. We have to break the siege here of the Don. They have come under tremendous pressure here. Let's bring them up to full strength here, because they fought a massive fight. And look, as you can see here, they took a severe beating here.
Sir.
That's why we've had to land an army group here, because otherwise we would be in... Even now the Germans are mustering very strong forces. The Don is under severe pressure here. Garrison guards, we've got to break this encirclement, which in effect it is. If they come through Tartaria as well, they've encircled us. It's an effective strategy because it blocks and it forces our hand. We've had to pull in an army group which we can't really afford to move in here. Ideally this army group should be on the European front, but we've had to shift forces away from Europe, bring them in from the homeland, from America, and transfer them immediately to the Don front. Many of the council calling for us not to lose the Don, so we're not going to do that, my friends. As you can see, some of them, they haven't even upgraded them to heavy cavalry. They are indeed straight from the homeland, straight from recruitment. I think our first point of contact will be Mykop here. We'll probably hit Krasnodar with this army here of General Backward Beast. We shall also have General Blue Blocks here as well, and no general here at all. So there's an opening here for an army, for a general, whoever in the council wishes to be promoted. You will be fighting on the Don front, and believe me, my friends, it will not be an easy task. As you can see, the Germans have a huge swathe of Russia under its control, and they are trying with all their might here to try and break our grip on the Don. We are effectively blockading an easy path into their European holdings, because they're able to use the Russian lands to be able to travel through, because they have a military access agreement with the Russians. Now France has Karelia, which is strange. Do we give Karelia to the... I don't believe so. That is odd. They do have Galicia and Podolia, but for some reason they're just leaving that. I mean, look at the French, look at the Spanish build-up of forces along this border here. And as you can see, we are effectively surrounded. We've had to move in forces to effectively safeguard Denmark, because it looks like they might be pushing in, but they've surrounded Hanover here. Berlin is under our control. We've even brought Saxony under siege. If we can break this triumvirate here of production centres, if we can take Dresden and we can take Prague, it'll leave Vienna, only Vienna on this flank here, this sort of European flank here, where they've got a major production centre. After that, we'll have taken both German and Austrian production centres away from them. But this is the last major production centre for the Germans. These are the last major production centres for the Austrians. I remember we had a huge fight with the Austrians as well to try and take Hungary. Hungary has absorbed thousands and thousands of casualties. It really has cost us dear. We did move in an army to try and wrestle control away, but unfortunately we just didn't have the strength to push them back. But since then we have been able to push them back, but like once again they've moved forces in here. It's a walled city. They've got incredibly strong forces, so we're trying to gather our strength here. I think we have to move in. This army in here is...
Sir. At the ready. Sir.
So to that end, we'll actually move these gentlemen into the fort here.
Forward.
We've got General Ursoy here, who is almost at full strength, which is good to see. If we can get these forces back up to full strength as well, we do stand a chance of actually finally breaking Hungary here. But again, the Austrians aren't making it easier for us. We did remember that attack against Gdansk, which was just enormous, and we've really been up against it in terms of the number of forces we've got here. Actually, we might make this an artillery fort. Yeah, let's upgrade that to an artillery fort. The council did request we build a fort here to try and have the ability to move between the city and the fort if needs be.
Sir.
That's full strength.
Sir.
All these gentlemen are getting back up to full strength now, which is good to see. All these armies should be upgraded, and yes, they are. We're going to have to bring forces in from... Now, if we move here, we're going to engage them here. They've also moved... I mean, look at this. They've got all of these forces just sat here waiting to move back into Gdansk. So for that end, I think what we will do... We've also got this army sneaking around and sniffing around here, Warsaw. Now, if they take Warsaw, this will unhinge our entire... excuse me, my friends. It's our entire strategic front here. They're able to move forces in and out of Russia at will, effectively. So the constant supply here of German troops is never ending. It really is. I think we might. We've also got to worry about Russia, but how is Russia? It's unfriendly, -40. But I think what we're going to do is behind the lines here, behind Königsberg, we're going to build up an army group. And that army group is going to be used to strike. I think it's about time we plunged into Russia. Or what was Russia, Belarus. I think it's about time we took the fight to them here. It really is time that we took the fight to them. We simply cannot allow them to do as they wish. Now, do we have land here? We did. Actually, yes, indeed, sir. Oh, look at that. Oh, and that's more like it. And here as well. We need to invest in our economy where we can, and here as well. And again, the council was 15,000 for the Star Fort. We'll take it, sir. We shall take it. Oh, and here as well. Oh, that's more like it. Oh, this is a wonder to see. It really is. Now, we've got the Ottomans here. Now, they're leaving us alone here. So they've given us time to really, absolutely pull every single gold coin out of Anatolia here. We possibly can. If we can just have enough... We've got these army groups moving. We can't move these army groups in. Let's actually... We'll just... Yeah, they're not getting anything from there anyway. We can't do anything to Russia, but we'll just leave this fleet here just in case it's ever needed. Azov there is going to be possibly a flashpoint. Now we've got these gentlemen moving up. We need to find out what's going on here. We need to know... Oh my goodness me, look at the depth of the forces they've got here. We need to find out what they're doing. Let's move into Serbia. And we need to find out what's going on here. We need to know the disposition of their forces so we know what we're up against here. Ideally, we need to move up right up to Hungary and Vienna here so we can find out what's going on. We're at war with Austria down here, with many of the council asking for us to move in against the Austrians, but look at... They've replenished and repaired every single army. The sheer strength we would need to break into Venice would be mind-numbing. It really would. It would require at least 4 or 5 well, maybe even 4 army groups to break into there. Oh, that's more like it, sir. That's more like it. Now, Denmark, we are trying to shore up here because why are the Germans moving these forces in just by here? I think what we will do is we'll start building another force behind the lines here.
Any further orders?
Got cannon on the way.
Ready and awaiting orders.
Sharpshooters. I wonder if we get some sharpshooters here. To add a little bit of depth. I think we'll have some cuirassiers as well. Light sharp? No, not really, no. Lancers, indeed, sir. Now we're bringing... There, we've cut off most of the forces here. As you can see, anything that's coming in through here we are raiding. We've got a massive presence here in terms of our naval forces. We cannot allow anybody into the Baltic. Anybody into the Baltic that's going to do us harm. The Baltic is effectively going to be cut off by our naval forces. Now Poland has also seen an influx here. It has been a while since we've actually been here, so we are actually going to start increasing our troops numbers in Poland as well. We have to make sure we are absolutely prepared for anything that comes our way. We cannot allow this to slip at all, my friends. We simply cannot. Oh my word. We're building an army here as well. We shall continue that over there. Full guns. We'll have 4 guns in here, which means we need 1 more regiment. We've got plenty of cavalry. Let's make that another line infantry. Newfoundland, yes, of course. Now, of course, we've taken Agvatuk here. The British did try to help us here, but they got pushed back. As you can see, the Mughals are moving, probably going to move down towards here. But we have a presence here of Mughal ships. I wonder if we can get... I mean, they've got... They don't have the quantity, but they've got a massive amount. That's probably the finest army they've got, or what's left of it. We need to rid ourselves of these Mughals once and for all on here.
Yes.
It has cost us dear. This army here has taken a bit of a thrashing. Let's be under no illusions. We might have to bring in additional forces. But we've quelled, at least we've taken Agvatuk. Agvatuk is ours now. Well, looks like we might have to bring in additional forces here to actually shore this up.
Sir.
I think that's what we will do. We'll bring in additional forces here.
For crown and country.
Oh, US Volunteer Infantry Regiment. Let's bring in these forces we need. We'll have cuirassiers. We need to make sure that Agvatuk is completely cleared. And that's what we're going to do, my friends, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, who's operating out here now? France does have Guyana, which means they are still bringing in quite a lot of money here. They should be at least, but nothing here at all. Courland has Martinique. The Britain effectively controls the Caribbean, but we do have Cuba, and we do have control of all of South America. North America, this continental US is effectively ours. Canada is under British control. We do have Acadia here as well, which I would like to get my hands on, but we're not going to war with Britain. Not yet, because as you can see, they have a plethora here of forces, and particularly here in Fort Salt. We don't have the forces to deal with the British yet, but I can just only hope the British stay friendly with us. They're very friendly with us, which is excellent. We're allied with them, which we hope to remain so. Ah. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Steamships. I think we shall move these gentlemen into the Mediterranean. I just got, and the council have also said as well, they've got this gut feeling that the Spanish might move against us. There's a very strong possibility they might move against us. We might actually raid this line here, actually. Oh, that's more like it. Look at that. That's excellent. That's at full. Now, Ankara. Ah. Get a national observatory. I think we'll go for a national observatory here. It's 2,000. We also need to increase. Oh, look at that. 24,000. What have we got? 28,000. I think we'll get an improved settlement fortification. We're going to go for the full infrastructure here. Upgrade. We do need to get the barracks up and running as quickly as possible as well, because we can't really reinforce these gentlemen with anything of any great note. We've also got a very powerful force down here as well. But if anybody wants Ankara, they're going to have to really fight through it, because we're going to upgrade the fortifications as well. We could actually move these forces in and attack, but it'll drag in these forces here. We've got to wait for this army to be ready to move.
Sir.
What we'll do is just move this army in a little bit closer so they can support each other.
Sir. Orders, sir.
Let us prepare.
And forward.
We've got an army group in situ here now. But what's going to happen in Europe? That's the key. And what will Spain do? They've built up quite a number of armies here. Oh my goodness me, look at that. Oh, they've got balloons. When they're bringing the absolute creme de la creme here. Yeah, they're throwing the absolute kitchen sink at this. They've quite clearly seen the threat here. Let's have a look at their status. Just briefly. Yeah, they're allies with Austria. They're at war with France, but look at their allies of Austria, which is why they're potentially going to move against us. We have to be exceptionally careful. If we take Hungary, I've got a feeling that'll tip Spain over the edge here. And that's where we're going to move this fleet. Is at least ready to poise, at least... Oh, actually Britain is hitting Spain here, which is... No, they're not. They've actually got a huge amount of money coming in here. Oh, Spain is... Oh my gosh. Spain is powerful, my friends. We can't be under any illusions here. We're at war with Austria. What have they got here? We should really take Algiers off them. Barbary states are still in effect here. I'm not going to worry about that yet. We've got to focus on our main primary goals, which is the Don and trying to fight off what is coming. And that is a massive, massive amount of forces here. Let's end the turn, my friends. Let's see what happens here. Excuse me, my friends, we have a beverage of tea. Now Britain is in better shape here. Those armies are in full... now, don't do it. Don't you do it. I'll unleash hell upon these Austrians if they come for us, believe me. You just go back to your ports. Oh, I wonder if they're going to try and surround us here. Oh, some rather... That was probably not the finest move. Now, Germany. What will Germany do here? This is key. As you can see... Oh, I don't quite gather how that can be possible. If that's the case, we're not going to take the risk here of defeat. We need to take Dresden in one hit. I cannot for the life of me fathom that out. I can only assume it's because they've got full fortifications, and also these mortars can be an absolute monster, it really can. We've got the 1st Delaware, so as you can imagine, the 1st Delaware was actually one of the first elite regiments we ever recruited. So as you can tell, this army has been in the field for a very, very long time. It's one of our first armies. We've also got good support. We've got General Cathcart. We've got General I beg your pardon, we have Elizabeth Ernock. And we also have General Breeze as well. So we have Adam's girlfriend as well as here. I think we'll have Elizabeth as our... Let's make sure our reinforcements are coming in good and proper. Actually, these forces aren't at full strength either. That's a little bit disconcerting. Let's just make sure we've got everything in position. Perfect. And then we've got General Breeze. And to that end, let's make sure we've got our infantry coming in here, because that's the type of battle we're going to be involved in, I think. Perfect. We'll have some cavalry coming in, but by the time these come in, if they come in, we should have opened the defences up. Now they moved against us, which means they'll be coming out to meet us. You're defending against a Prussian attackers, which means that might not even come into play here, or it might, but they'll probably attack us. Right, let's take this fight, my friends. Let's try and take Dresden for ourselves here. If we can just take this last production centre here of the Germans, it really would prove invaluable in two reasons. Not only would it open up that production centre and the economy of that city to ourselves, but it would also prevent the Germans from having access to what is probably the last great production centre on this particular Western Front, as it were, in the north. They still have many armies at their disposal. Now, oh yeah, that's a full fort here. So as you might imagine, this is going to be, we're defending, so they've got to come out to us here. We've actually got, the topography is not too bad either, quite a large deployment zone, particularly width-wise. What I think we will do is we'll use, oh, we've got a oh, look at that, that's a fantastic position here. We've got this hillock here, this hill. We'll actually set about our howitzers. I know that howitzers can be effective on flat ground as well, but we'll take the use of this. We'll set them right on the apex here, the apogee here of the hill. I think we'll bring quicklime to bear immediately because we are very close here. Now we can pull some of these forces back into reserve, but I think we'll have our cavalry ready to strike. Consider up against mostly going to be, or all of it's going to be infantry. It's a shame we haven't got any cuirassiers here, but we don't. Now, we've got our General Cathcart here. We could actually wrap around here as well. We've got that L-shape defensive zone, but we're going to make the use of these trees here and this outcrop. Now, these long riflemen have been invaluable to us. We might actually set them out here in this. Is there anywhere else? We can set them here as well, I think. We'll put them on skirmish. Ideally, we don't really want to use these troops if possible. If we do need, we'll bring the 1st Delaware. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is enough to make you weep with joy. I mean, look at that. So, 1st Delaware, they will anchor the defensive line here. We'll have them just sort of sitting on the base of this hill here. And again, we can really do a lot of damage here. I think we'll bring in, oh, the 14th is not in the best of shape. Let's bring in the 11th, which has been brought up to full strength. Remember, some of these regiments aren't at full strength because of the fighting that had taken place last time. Look at this, so they're all hidden, which is wonderful to see. This outcrop is going to benefit us. We do have the 1st New Jersey volunteers, I believe that is in the Grenadiers. We'll use these gentlemen here. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at the Grenadiers. 1st New Jersey Volunteers. I mean, that is a joy to see. It really is. Got the Delaware anchored with 1st New Jerseys. We'll also have, I think, the 2nd Grenadiers here running on the left-hand flank. Let's bring them in properly here. They're hidden as well. They're not at full strength, not by any means, only 110 here. We're missing 78 men here. But still not brought them up to full strength, but we shall. Now, we'll bring in the 15th Regiment as well. As you can tell how old this army actually is. It still has regimental numbers. That's how old this is, because we've gotten so many forces now that we've actually run out of numbers for the regiments. So if you find here that we still have regiment, this is how old this army is, how much has been actually in the fight. We have Manifest Destiny here, I think, on this extreme left flank here. They're idle. We'll also bring in the 13th Regiment here as well, just to really anchor this left flank, because if they make a move for us there, let's pull back. We'll have the 36th Regiment here. Just start to move the just to angle the line here. The rest of these regiments are actually going to be pulled back into reserve. These gentlemen can be on the left flank here. I believe we are ready for this fight here. We have, as you can see, quite an extensive line here. And as we just straighten this line up here, and here as well. Angle it so it's a little bit flatter here. Right, that's it, let's take this fight, my friends. Oh, look at that, they're actually right heavy here, or left heavy as their flank. Move it, gentlemen, if you would please. This is not a Sunday stroll. Move. Thank you. We must maintain our discipline here. We will take Dresden, it will be ours. But we have met fanatical resistance from the Germans. Fanatical resistance. I think it might be policy if we put another regiment. I think what we'll do is actually pull these two regiments in to here. We shall just prepare ourselves here for... Move it, gentlemen, move it. 14 to 37. We have taken a bit of a hammering here, but still... I wonder if we can actually... No, we can't. I wonder if we'll actually move these reinforcements to this flank here. Where are their mortars? There they are, there. What an absolute shambles. We mustn't become complacent though. These regiments are moving against us immediately here. We can catch them on the hop here. They quite clearly cannot see our cavalry here ready to spring into action here. We'll hit them in the flank if possible. Now they're coming out of here. Those guns are going to open up very, very soon. We've also got, of course, our long riflemen. Fire! Oh, that's more like it, sir. Oh my goodness me, what a shot, sir. My compliments to the chef. Ho ho ho. They're actually going to bring everything they've got here against us. Steady, lads, steady. Let's just prepare ourselves here. Before they have a chance to group, lads, before they have a chance to get themselves ready. Get out of there, lads, get out of there. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. right across the bow. Yeah, you come after us, sir. You come after us. That's going to pull them out of the fort. We've actually held up this entire advance using just artillery and these 36 long riflemen. Look at that. 40 men gone in one swift movement. They've broken, which is absolutely fine. Yeah, well done. My compliments to the chef, sir. Look, absolutely blitzed. The council did recommend that we fire in front of these units here, and it absolutely worked out beautifully. Oh, look at that for a shot. We're going to pincer movement them. Get them in a pincer. Oh, well done, sir. Reinforcements en route. You get in here, sir. You get in here. Don't you dare. What is going on here? They've gone. They've broken. We've had enough. Follow your orders, lads. Follow your orders. Oh, fantastic. Absolute wonders. They've broken. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness me, what a shot. Okay, they've broken. That's fine. Oh, they're waving. Looks like they're coming back. I have no idea what this procession is here. Not a clue. They've come back as well. What the blazes is that? General Lernock. Oh. Let's bring them to full fire. Thank you, gentlemen. shattered. Let's get into them. Let's get into them. Let's clear this entire flank. We've had enough. Pull out, lads, pull out. They're gonna buckle, they're gonna buckle. Oh my goodness me, what a wonderful sight, sir. Come on, bring them down, lads, bring them down. Let's have them shattered. We want nothing at all left here. Oh, this is exemplary soldiering. Let's close the door on them. They've done their job. Oh my goodness me, the artillery fire here has been exceptional. Let's get into them. These are the last sort of militia that are holding out here against. Keep moving. Right into the back of them, right into the rear. Don't like it happen, lads. We want them shattered. Let's teach them a lesson. If they send their men to the front, they shall not be coming back. They're shattered. Excuse any noise in the background, my friends. You can probably tell whom that might be. Oh my word, the fire support here has been exemplary. Put them down. Oh, they're shattered. They've gone. Ceasefire! Ceasefire! Got to deal with. Let's move in. Brutal, brutal. Move in, lads, move in. We've got to take this fort. Gentlemen, this is not some kind of stroll. This is not some kind of drill. I want this fort taken. I want this fort taken today. That's why I want to take it today, because of this exact reason. Those mortars are brutal, sir. And they do so much damage. Let's get them out. We've got to try and split this attack here, because otherwise those mortars are going to absolutely brutalise us. Look at that. They're wavering already. That is why they've gone. Oh, thank goodness for that, they've broken. That's why I loathe and detest mortars. Yes. What a fight that was, my friends. What a fight. We lost 272. They lost 2,267. 125 remaining. Look at that, regiment of horse with an exemplary here, and the first Delaware once again standing forth. Wonderful to see. Has the city fallen to us now? Potentially. Look at that, they're continuing to move here against this sort of gentleman. And they're besieging the fort. Ah. Oh. We bring 15,000 men, sir, to this particular fight. And if they want to move into this fort here, they're going to have to really push in a huge... I wonder if they're going to bring in this force here as well. Potentially going to drag this force into the fight as well. It is within this remit. What have we got here? Excuse me, my friends, we do have a number of generals fighting here. We do have a number of general positions that are still open if those of anybody of the council wish to have. What are we up against here? Not really. I mean, you do have a lot of conscripts. They're having to use conscripts here as opposed to the professional troops. But I think, my friends, this is a fight we shall take for next episode. Where they're up against, we know where we have effectively set 20,000 men here in Gdansk. The Germans are throwing in nearly 10,000. So we outnumber them here 2-1. But they are continually hammering away at Gdansk. If they unhinge Gdansk, if they take Gdansk, they unhinge this entire northern sort of front of ours here, and it leaves the Baltic Sea really vulnerable here as well, because they could then strike against Sweden. They could even strike against Finland. They could strike against Denmark through the Baltic. It really is crucial here that we hold on to Gdansk. They're throwing absolutely everything they can. In fact, they're throwing 10,000 troops in to try and take it, although we've got 15,000 here. Not all of them, as you can see, are in the finest of health. Look at this. This army still recovering from the previous fight for Gdansk. So this one can actually be moved to the back here. This is our Republican Guard army, which did take a heck of a beating. But the remainder of our forces are up to full strength now, which is good to see, apart from these gentlemen here. Yes, some of these aren't. So these two armies are still replenishing. These 5 armies here, though, are at full strength, and so is the garrison force within the fort here. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any artillery, which is a little bit of pain. But the Germans have brought plenty of artillery here to break the fort walls. But if they want this fort, by damn, it'll cost them dear, I can assure you, my friends. But we do have artillery in the rest, and we also have plenty of cavalry as well, which is excellent to see. Because the Germans have also brought in plenty of cavalry. But my friends, this will be a fight for next episode. I do apologise for this episode being a little bit shorter, but I'm a little bit busy at the moment, my friends. But I do apologise for that, and I hope that you've enjoyed. Actually, we might actually leave this intercept. But then again, if we take this intercept, they'll drag in these 3 armies. We're going to finally rid ourselves of these 3 armies here that are quite clearly going to be a pest. I think it's just these 3 armies that are being brought in here, not this one here. So we might take this fight to clear these armies away from Gdansk and give ourselves some breathing space. We might actually take this opportunity to intercept here. But my friends, that's going to be for next episode. Once again, I'd like to thank all of you for your wonderful advice, wonderful support here. It's been absolutely incredible, especially for this campaign as well. We wouldn't be where we are now if it wasn't for the council, believe me, my friends. But again, as always, please keep your comments coming down below. Please keep your proposals, your plans, your comments, whatever you want, your strategies, please get them down, my friends. Quite clearly I've made quite a number of mistakes. You spot those mistakes. As always, my friends, constructive criticism is always and will always be welcome here, always, no matter what it is. But again, I'd like to thank all of you for your wonderful support. And until next time, my friends, bye for now.